Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by green forests and tall mountains, there lived a kind young boy named Max. Max was an only child, and his parents were very busy with their jobs. They often worked long hours, leaving Max to play by himself. But Max wasn't lonely. He had Bella, a golden retriever with a soft, shiny coat and a tail that wagged like a happy flag whenever she saw Max. Max had found Bella when she was just a tiny puppy. She had been lost in the woods, scared and hungry. Max's heart had melted when he found her, and he gently carried her back to his house. Ever since that day, Max and Bella had been best friends. Bella followed Max everywhere. Whether he was riding his bike, playing soccer in the yard, or just sitting in the sun reading his favorite book, she was always by his side. One warm summer afternoon, Max was sitting on the porch, looking at the trees in the distance. Bella lay beside him, her head resting on his feet. The two of them loved these quiet moments. Max scratched behind Bella's ears, and she gave a happy little sigh, closing her eyes. "Do you remember when we first met, Bella?" Max asked, his voice soft. Bella lifted her head and looked up at him with her big, brown eyes. It was as if she understood every word. Max smiled, thinking of how far they had come together. They had shared so many adventures. Running through fields, jumping into puddles after rain, and even getting lost once, but always finding their way home. But one day, something unexpected happened. Max's parents decided to move to a bigger city. Max didn't want to leave his small town. He loved the old house they lived in, the big backyard, and the quiet streets where he and Bella could play. But his parents had their reasons. Max tried to be brave, thinking that maybe the city wouldn't be so bad after all. But deep down, he felt scared and sad. He didn't want to leave his old life behind. On the day they were getting ready to leave, Max and Bella stood at the edge of the yard, looking at the house for the last time. Max knelt down and hugged Bella tight. He felt her warmth against him and could hear her soft panting. He was going to miss her so much, but he knew she would be with him, always. The family packed up their belongings and drove to the city. Max's parents promised him that Bella would be with them. But as they drove, they didn't realize that Bella had slipped out of the open back door of the car. It happened so quickly. By the time they noticed, Bella was nowhere to be found. Max's heart sank when his parents told him. "We'll find her," his dad said. "We'll come back and look for her. Don't worry." But Max did worry. For days, he couldn't stop thinking about Bella. Where was she? Was she scared? Did she miss him like he missed her? Bella was lost in the city, far from the woods and the hills she loved. The streets were noisy, and everything smelled strange. She wandered for hours, sniffing the air, trying to find something familiar. But she didn't know the way back. She didn't even know how she had gotten so far away from Max. One thing Bella did know was that she had to be brave. She had survived on her own before, and she could do it again. Her paws ached, but she kept going, hoping to find something that would lead her back home. For weeks, Bella searched. She found scraps of food in trash bins, but she couldn't find her way back to Max. She missed him terribly. She remembered the smell of his clothes, the sound of his voice, and the way he would always play fetch with her. She thought about him every day and kept moving, determined not to give up. Along the way, Bella met other animals. Some were kind, like the old cat who let her rest in a warm corner of an abandoned building. Others were not so friendly. Bella had to run from a big dog who barked at her and scared her away. But Bella was strong, and she never lost hope. One day, after crossing a busy street and climbing a tall hill, Bella saw a small forest in the distance. It looked just like the one where Max and she used to play. Her heart raced with excitement. Maybe, just maybe, this was the way home. Back in the city, Max didn't stop looking for Bella. Every day after school, he would go to the nearby animal shelter and ask if anyone had found a golden retriever. The workers there were kind, but no one had seen her. Max even posted flyers around the neighborhood with pictures of Bella and his phone number. He told everyone who would listen that his dog was missing. Some people told him to give up, that it was too late, that Bella might never come back. But Max didn't listen to them. He couldn't give up on his best friend. One afternoon, while walking down a quiet street near the shelter, Max saw a group of children playing with a dog. It was a golden retriever, but when Max got closer, he saw it wasn't Bella. His heart sank. He wanted it to be Bella so badly. Max sat down on a bench, feeling tired and hopeless. "I miss you so much, Bella," he whispered, looking at the sky. "I don't know what to do without you." Just then, Max heard a rustling noise behind him. He turned around, and his eyes grew wide. There, standing at the edge of the street, was a golden retriever. Her coat was dirty, and she looked thin and tired. But Max recognized her immediately. "Bella," he cried out, running toward her with tears in his eyes. Bella wagged her tail and ran to Max. She licked his face, jumping up to give him all the love she had. Max hugged her tightly, not believing that she had finally come home. Surrounded by people who watched in surprise as the two best friends were reunited, Max couldn't stop smiling. His heart felt light again, as if a huge weight had been lifted. Bella seemed just as happy. She licked Max's face again and again, her tail wagging so fast it looked like it might fall off. Max laughed and held her close. "I'm never letting you go again," he promised. From that day on, Max and Bella were never apart for long. They went on long walks together, played in the park, and spent quiet evenings at home. Max's parents were glad that Bella was back, too, but they understood how much she meant to Max. They were all a family again, and they were stronger than ever. Max learned that no matter how far apart they were, no matter what happened, Bella would always find her way back to him. And Bella knew that as long as Max was there, she would always have a home. Together, Max and Bella shared many more adventures. And as the years went by, they grew older, but their bond never changed. It was unbreakable, filled with love, loyalty, and the knowledge that no matter what, they would always be there for each other. And so, their story continued, a story of love, hope, and a friendship that nothing could ever tear apart. Thanks for being part of the community. If you've made it to the end of this video, you're lucky because you might be the next one I mention in the next video. If you'd like a shout out, just drop a comment with your location and I'll include you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content.